remember the days even before pre-diagnosis when our son's health and symptoms were showing that something was going wrong in his body. And I remember in those days making very deliberate decisions about who I was going to be. I remember it being really important to me to not walk in pretense, to be authentic with my emotions and where I be, but also to intentionally allow who I be to be created and formed to be solid. I remember it being really important to me to recognize that these things weren't happening to my body and the story wasn't about me. And I wanted to make sure that the emphasis and the support were always heading in the right direction. And when I take time to reflect, or on like a night like tonight where we're about to go get another infusion, and his last infusion had some scary moments in it and some encounters that we had not previously had. And so on a night like tonight, when there's just a lot of unknowns, and I want to call back into my person and remember intentions of who do I want to be, and allow the space that's not that to have the feels, so that then there's room to put into place that reality of who I want to be. And within the constructs of facing unknowns, right? We all face unknowns in life. I know that it's laying down for me or sitting, and it's finding physical stillness, even if my mind hasn't found that stillness and that calm yet. It's giving myself permission to find physical stillness. And regardless of what's happening in the interior with my emotions and with my thoughts, I start intentionally bringing my body into longer breath and intentionally noticing how the breath feels as I take it in and inhale, and then slowly release it into the exhale and make the exhale even longer still. And there are moments where then the emotion will really get going, and I stay with the breath, recognizing and being aware of what's happening now, and allowing present moment awareness to anchor me into the moment. So all the fears of what if, or all those thoughts of what if, or all those thoughts of XYZ could happen, like that's the future. And yep, some of them are true and some of them are just fears. But what I say to myself is I'm going to notice what it feels like to be like in this moment. I'm lying down, and so I'm lying on my left side body, and my knees are bent, and my right foot, in the arch of my right foot, is on top of my left foot. And I take a longer breath, and I notice that the emotion is in that space of right behind my eyes. And I notice how the mattress feels underneath my left side body. And I just lay here. And I notice where I'm holding my breath. And I notice what feels numb or frightened. And I give myself space to be with all of that. And then I pull myself back to this moment, and I notice the fabric of my clothing upon my person, and I notice the bed underneath my left side body, and I notice the arch of my right foot on top of my left foot. And I take a longer breath. I so firmly believe in the somatic and spiritual formation practices because the person that I wanted to come and be like three and a half years ago, I get to touch and be that person. And it's from allowing spaces like these and the unknown to not like be that monster under the bed, but to look at it and to say, okay, I know what to do. Yes, there's so many things outside my control, and there's a lot of things that aren't known. And what I do know is I can take a longer breath. And it might sound inconsequential and trite, but I promise you, and I can promise you that I know the story of my life and of my mind and my heart and my being. And it has been in being deliberate with breath, present moment awareness, body awareness that has helped me step more fully into my life and inhabit my life with intentionality and feel present in a way that I never even dreamed possible. So I don't know like what you're going through and what the unknown is in your equation of living, but I do know that spending time with these practices is transformational. And it's not that this is like a trend. This is because I hate like spiritual trends that come and go and things like this. Like those things are just whatever the who's who is spouting. But being able to come home to your breath and be intentional with what it feels like to dwell in your physical body and noticing where that is, and having the gift of present moment awareness has given me the gift of being able to be who I wanted to be and dreamed of possibly being for not just my son who's going through this medical journey, but like I just get to live and be more intentional with my person in ways that I just am in awe in. And so I do invite you to notice your breath as you can and how you can be present to your body and to present moment awareness, and to allow for spaces of the churning and identify emotion and sensation or numb while you breathe, and give yourself that space to form and be formed by these practices, because they are like they'll take your life and transform it. And there's a stability and a centeredness and a groundedness and a calm that becomes accessible and tangible. And that I wish for everybody. And that is needed for anybody. I work with people in all different types of professions, from in all different types of socioeconomic spaces. And I'll say that we all need to learn to take a longer breath and to be present to ourselves and to each other in meaningful ways.